the postseason off on the right note. 93.7 The Ticket's coverage from the men's Big Ten tournament is sponsored by Runza, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, the Lincoln Airport, and Penner Sprinkler and Lawn.
The stretch run is here. On March 18th, Love Nebraska hosts Love Atlanta at Baxter Arena with first serve set for 7 p.m., and every set carries postseason implications. Two explosive teams meet on one court, trading quick transition, heavy swings, and defensive plays that can shift the match in seconds. Playoff implications on the line as the season winds down. Don't just track the score, feel every rally live. Secure your seats at lovebneb.com/tickets.
Do you ever feel okay in your current job and profession, but wonder if there's a better company that can offer more? Vision Mechanical is now hiring for journeyman plumbers and HVAC service technicians. Vision Mechanical offers top-of-the-industry wages, 100% paid health, disability, and life insurance, 401k with employee match, and paid holidays and vacation. Vision Mechanical believes in craftsmanship, teamwork, and building a better future one project at a time. Apply today or learn more at visionmechanical.net or email Ron at vmech.net.
Looking for the right utility tractor for your acreage? Find it at Landmark Implement. Shop our selection of used John Deere compact tractors from 1 through 5 series with the power and versatility to track mowing, yard work, snow removal, and more. For a limited time, get 2.9% financing for 36 months, followed by 6.2% for 24 months with approved credit. We've got the right fit for your property and your budget. Stop by your local Landmark Implement or visit us online at landmarkimp.com today and experience the Landmark difference.
Spring storms happen, but LES line workers are ready. While they're out in the weather, you can stay inside and still lend a hand by reporting your outage at les.com/report.
Have you been looking for home technology upgrades but don't know where to turn? Online information can be contradicting and confusing. Lincoln's own experts at Diode Technologies can turn your living room into the place to watch your favorite sports. Whatever your vision is, Diode Tech is ready to make it a reality. From home theaters to outdoor entertainment spaces, they bring you along through the entire process to make sure you get exactly what you want. If you're ready to upgrade your entertainment space, visit Diode Tech online at diodetech.net or give them a call at 402-793-5124.
Big value and big flavor meet at Wings and Rings thanks to the all-new delicious Duo Combo. This is the one you've been waiting for. Get one half-sized appetizer and 2 entrees with a side for only $19.99. Bring a friend for the best deal in town on any day of the week, during game time, or whenever the heck you want. Their made-to-order wings and chicken sandwiches are waiting for you at their 68th and O and 40th and Old Cheney locations. Stop by Wings and Rings and celebrate every day with the best meal deal in town.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks. Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now at Koppel, we are offering big discounts on all of our inventory. 2026 GMC Terrains are leasing at $279 per month or buy for $27,690. 2026 Canyon is leasing for $269 or buy for $40,980. Also right now, all new Equinox EVs and all half-ton trucks are starting at $12,000 off MSRP. These are just a few examples of some of the aggressive pricing going on right now at Koppel. Please stop on in or check us out at koppelcars.com. All leases with $2,500 down with a roof credit.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley, defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror, number 43.
And Jake Bockoven. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Welcome to Bock and the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. It is March 12th, 2096. I mean, Bock, 2096, 2026.
26.
I know watching these basketball games, man, live on TV and trying to do radio is not a good thing, Bock. Welcome to the show today. We're going to keep you updated a lot on what's going on with all Big Ten tournament games going on. As of right now, Ohio State is leading Iowa. Can't see the score, Bob.
Yeah, it's going on at the moment.
41-33 with 16:06 left in the second half. So, Bob, as we get ready for the Huskers to play tomorrow, give me an update on all the other teams that had action yesterday.
Yeah, of course, for Nebraska specifically, it's very interesting. The thought was that Indiana was going to be playing Purdue today. Indiana needed a victory yesterday against Northwestern to do that, and probably needed a victory to play in the NCAA tournament. We'll see how the rest of the bubble teams do, which bubble teams have not been doing well this year. But Northwestern upending Indiana 74-61. Nick Martinelli leading the way there with 28 points for the Wildcats. So at 15-18 now, Northwestern moves on. They keep their season alive, and so they will play Purdue today at 5:30. That's one Husker fans are going to be especially attentive to, obviously, because the winner of that game, Nebraska, will play tomorrow at 5:30. Like you said, Iowa got into this game by beating Maryland yesterday 75-64. Bennett Sturt 17.6 rebounds and 8 assists to lead the Hawkeyes there. Maryland season comes to an end at 12-21. Washington beat USC 83-79. Big for Washington. They're now 16-16. Of course, you want to finish above 500 to get to any sort of postseason play. So good for them. USC obviously just limping toward the end of the season. That one went into overtime for Washington to win it. And then Rutgers defeated Minnesota 72-67, effectively ending the Golden Gophers season there at 15-17. Sets up for today's action. Like we said, Iowa in Ohio State. Ohio State had a 4-point halftime lead. They're now up to 43-35. Wisconsin and Washington will battle at 1:30. And then Northwestern and Purdue. Like I said, that game Husker fans will be very close, have a close eye on at 5:30. Nightcap, Rutgers and UCLA at 8 o'clock there. All from the United Center in Chicago. DP and Jake Sorensen out headed that way. I don't know if they're there yet, but headed that way. Of course, we'll be there for the Husker game and hopefully multiple Husker games as we get through it this weekend. But that's where we are as far as the Big Ten tournament goes.
Now, question, Bob.
Yep.
Let's stay in the Big Ten right quick. Stay in the Big Ten. With Wisconsin losing, Wisconsin was a bubble team. I think they're a bubble team. With that loss,
Wisconsin didn't lose.
Well, who lost? Who we say lost?
It was yesterday, Indiana.
Yeah. Indiana was a bubble team.
Yes.
Do they make it, or you think they're kind of NIT-ish?
I think they're probably looking at the NIT. I mean, they were right on the line. They are now listed as the first team out, according to the bracketology by Joe Lenardi. That was updated as of today. Once again, it is conference tournament play. We could see some other bubble teams lose, and maybe that can shift into Indiana's favor. But as of right now, they're squarely on the bubble, probably out, if I would guess. I mean, they're 18-14, so that's not necessarily a great record. Obviously, 9-11, 9-12 if you include the loss in the Big Ten tournament in Big Ten conference play. They have a huge victory throughout the season. I mean, I wouldn't say. I mean, the Purdue win certainly helps. They did beat Wisconsin. That aged well, right? But I think they're probably out. We'll see what happens. I mean, they still have an opportunity with some of these bubble teams, and they'll be very attentive to what happens today. But I think they're probably out.
Are they a 20-game winner?
They are not. They're 18-14.
Yeah, they're not good. They're in. The big money tick. They play in the big money game. What's that? The one we won last year.
Oh, the Crown. Yeah, they could go to the Crown.
I think a lot of teams will probably opt out of the NIT and try to get in the Crown because of the money situation, Bob.
Well, it'll be interesting. Of course, would it? You've seen teams like North Carolina with their history decide not to go to the NIT. Of course, this is NIT, like you're saying. Maybe money can kind of make a difference. But some of those power schools, similar to Notre Dame in football this past year, I'd rather just not do anything if we're not playing for a championship. So we'll see, like in Indiana, would they be interested in that? For what it's worth, the CBI not happening this year. That was announced today. So a little bit limited. Not that Indiana would go to the CBI, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see their approach. Do they want to continue the season? It's year one. Maybe that makes a little bit of a difference for Coach DeVries as opposed to if you were going to do it in year 3 or 4. So we'll see.
All right, Buck, we'll go on down the line. Miami, Ohio, the undefeated team during the regular season, loses in the finals against UMass just a little while ago.
Yes, very interesting. Not even the finals of the MAC, as they just got that going. So kind of very interesting. I mean, it's been the debate we've all had all year long, and here it is. If Miami, Ohio does not win their conference tournament, do they get in? And of course, this is because the MAC is historically has been a one-bid league. So that means the conference tournament winner is generally the team that is going to get that bid. However, here we are again. This was the quarterfinal of the MAC championship. UMass at 17-15 outlasted Miami of Ohio 87-83 this morning. Miami of Ohio had a 2-point halftime lead. They're outscored by 6 in the second half. And yeah, so they lose 31-1 now. The Red Hawks are 18-0 in the MAC. So that will be the question. In my mind, I still don't think you can. I mean, that's got to be a two-bid league.
They got to get in, man.
This is the year for it.
You can't let a team go. Well, you got more games this year, though, and it's 68 this year.
68 teams, yeah.
68 teams. So it was what, 64?
Well, yeah, but it has been 68 for a while.
Well, so it still doesn't matter about a team that did that much, accomplished that much during the regular season to be 31-0. Deserves to be in the tournament. I don't care, just for namesake, I would say, because it's the right thing to do, Bob.
I think so. We'll see how, and they are currently ranked like 20th. So, if you compare that, and that's obviously at the undefeated mark, that's generally going to be a pretty, a number 5 seed or something like that. Could you go from a 5 seed to being out of the tournament otherwise if you just lose one game? I don't think so. So, I mean, it definitely will affect their seeding. And it will be interesting. Whoever gets them or draws them is probably going to be a little bit upset. If they're
well, make them play the play-in game.
Could be. Yeah, could be.
I think
Good
that's
spot.
probably the best way we can settle that. All I can say to Miami, Ohio's is better days are ahead.
Well, hopefully, we'll see.
That's from Jake and Bill Bush.
We'll see UMass now going to fight to continue in the MAC tournament. So. Someone's going to be the MAC champ, but again, you got regular season champions. I love college basketball for what it is too. By the way, I mean, again, every sport I think it's fun when you kind of have a unique postseason. College basketball certainly has that. That's why I've been in favor of college football having a unique setup, right, in the regular season, matting more before we went into this kind of postseason that kind of more sets it closer to what we see from professional sports. So it just kind of matters what you want. But I always think it's kind of silly to put so much, not silly, but it certainly leans into tournament style play when you allow tournament winners to get the automatic bid and regular season champions not necessarily to get it, because obviously you're talking about a 5 game, a 3 or 4 game stretch for these tournaments, as opposed to playing 20 regular season games. So who really earns it? Is it, but then there's going to be those that always argue, well, when the pressure is on, when the lights are on, that's when you got to win. So it's kind of funny how we do these things, but it doesn't leave you with the most clarity going into Selection Sunday, which again makes it kind of exciting. And more often than not, the teams that are left out, we've seen some bubble teams make big runs to the Final Four in that. But if you're left out, if you're left out of the bubble like Nebraska was last year, we know. I mean, there were opportunities. There were, a couple of games in Nebraska case, mini games where it came down to the edge. You need to make 1 or 2 more plays, didn't do it. And so, you're left out. But yeah, I mean, I mean, it's so rare in history to go undefeated or to go undefeated this far into the season that I think that'd be awful if Miami, Ohio doesn't get in.
All right, Bock. Nebraska baseball cruises to a 11-1 rule win over North Dakota State yesterday in 7 innings. Jet Buck went 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and 3 RBIs to lead the Huskers at the plate. Nebraska advances to 11-5 on the season, Bock.
Yeah, you'll definitely take it again. These midweek games were the curse of last year, so that's going to kind of be the theme all year this year, is if you can get them done. Nebraska will return to the mound against Maine this weekend. Of course, kind of interesting jumping into Big Ten play and then back out of it for some series with Maine and Wichita State coming up before Nebraska gets back into it with Michigan. It'll be next weekend. So hopefully things continue to go well. Of course, Nebraska, things have been going well now after a little bit of a hiccup there against Auburn. Some of the top teams, similar to Nebraska softball, going out there and challenging themselves. Nebraska baseball did that as well, but now they're on a 6-game winning streak. North Dakota State doesn't appear to be a very good team. 2 wins on the year. One of them, oddly enough, against Vanderbilt. So there is that. But yeah, I mean, North Dakota State's been struggling quite a bit. Nebraska does what they should do in getting the win. They're back-to-back run rule or 7-inning game as well for the Huskers. So they're putting kind of some separation between them and the opponent as well. So yeah, you got to like where Nebraska basketball is at 11-5 right now with the 6-game winning streak and a couple more games, hopefully, to get you going before you get back into conference play, which you can't complain about that either, right? 3-0 after beating Michigan State at Haymarket Park for their opening Big Ten series. So things are doing well for Nebraska baseball.
All right, Bock, any more news you have in basketball or baseball?
I think that is it for now. Of course, the sports world continues to debate the legitimacy of Bam Adebayo's 83-point game, but there's plenty of time for that later.
All right, how long we got for break?
We can go ahead and take a break.
All right, let's go to break. And when we come back, we still have Matt Rule to listen to, but we're still going to talk a little bit more college football when we come back right here on Bock the Blackshirt, 93.7 The Ticket. We're out.
Your cure for spring fever is at the Husker Lawn and Leisure Show, March 13th through the 15th at the Sandhills Global Event Center. See unique home and landscape displays. Admission $8. Veterans free on Friday. Hours and info at HuskerLawnShow.com. Sponsored by South O Roofing.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Nebraska men's basketball is headed to Chicago as the 2 seed for the Big Ten tournament, and we're headed with them. Join me, Jake Sorensen, and DP for coverage from the United Center this weekend as the Huskers look to start the postseason off on the right note. 93.7 The Ticket's coverage from the men's Big Ten tournament is sponsored by Runza, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, the Lincoln Airport, and Penner Sprinkler and Lawn.
Forget the lame excuse this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work for those 2 magical days in mid-March. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 19th and 20th at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday to get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it and stay all day for prizes throughout and buzzer beater upsets. It's March Mayhem with 93.7 The Ticket for the NCAA tournament at Buffalo Wings and Rings on 68th and O.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
The stretch run is here. On March 18th, Love Nebraska hosts Love Atlanta at Baxter Arena with first serve set for 7 p.m., and every set carries postseason implications. 2 explosive teams meet on one court, trading quick transition, heavy swings, and defensive plays that can shift the match in seconds. Playoff implications on the line as the season winds down. Don't just track the score, feel every rally live. Secure your seats at lovebneb.com/tickets.
There's no place like McKinney's Irish Pub for St. Patrick's Day, so mark your calendars to join in on the fun for their 12th annual Street Festival. The party goes all weekend long, but starts on March 14th and 15th with tons of giveaways, great Irish food, and green beer. And it continues on Tuesday the 17th for actual St. Patrick's Day. Doors open for the bar at 9 a.m. on Saturday, 11 a.m. on Sunday, and 9 a.m. on Tuesday. And the street party starts at 2 p.m. all 3 days. Don't miss out on great music and great fun with no cover charge for St. Patrick's Day weekend at McKinney's Irish Pub, located at 8th and P.
When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations. Looking to get a room downtown or near South Lincoln? Abe Lincoln would tell you no to the Ford Theater and yes to Lincoln Hotel. Save up to 40% off downtown Lincoln prices with a nice clean room and comfortable stay. Lincoln Hotel is locally owned and offers a day pass to the city's largest locally owned gym, Good Life Fitness. Long-term stays are available. You can learn more about pricing and book your Lincoln Hotel stay today at staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565. That's staylnk.com or call 402-600-0565.
Nutrition Authority presents Fusion 30, an ultra premium protein ideal for anyone wanting to look, feel, and perform their best. Fusion 30 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. Stop in today for a free sample, visit with a certified nutritionist, and get better than internet pricing. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Your cure for spring fever is at the Husker Lawn and Leisure Show, March 13th through the 15th at the Sandhills Global Event Center. See unique home and landscape displays. Admission $8. Veterans free on Friday. Hours and info at HuskerLawnShow.com. Sponsored by South O Roofing.
You're listening to Bock and the Blackshirt on air and online at theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Bock The Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. Bock, got some news. I don't know if it's good news. Probably for this guy it is. But Texas A&M has released the terms of new contract for A.D. Trev Alberts. The key details. It's a 6-year, $19.2 million deal through January 2032. Almost $1.3 million in retention payments and up to $7,500,000 in annual incentives.
Yeah, good news for Trev, right? And so it depends on how you feel about him. Of course, former Butkus Award winner here at Nebraska, also former Nebraska athletic director that left overnight. Of course, stabbed a lot of Husker fans in the heart, if you will, to go to Texas A&M. Originally having a 5-year, $11 million deal when he signed in March of 2024. So this is quite a pay raise for him. Pretty good. Like you said, 6 years, $19.2 million. Get some job security as well, as much as you can. Of course, everybody knows what happens if your football team starts struggling, but going up to 2032. So that is $2.7 million annually with a bump each year of $200,000. Good deal for Trev. And good deal for Texas A&M as they lock in their athletic director, or feel like they lock him in. By the way, some other benefits to this. Some perks include a luxury vehicle, 35 hours per year in use of university-sanctioned aircraft. So yeah, you gotta choose that wisely.
Do you think it's because of the Ohio State AD situation with Ted Carter?
Real quickly, you also get $3,000 a year of Adidas attire as well.
$3,000?
$3,000 worth of Adidas.
They should give former players that every year. $3,000 worth of Adidas. I'm serious, Bob.
You think so?
I think ex-players should have to pay for Adidas gear. I mean, you got 65 coaches up there, Bach, on the field. So you're giving them. There's
a lot of Adidas going around. Is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes, you got a lot of Adidas up there.
Yeah. So, maybe a care package once in a while wouldn't hurt.
But, signing Trev to extension, I think, was probably the best thing for Texas A&M to do because of the Ted Carter situation, and Ohio State's going to be looking for AD. And Trev's one of the top 8. You got to give it to this guy, Bach. He's smart, and he knows what he's doing. So he's a good AD, but I think what happened at Nebraska should be just brushed aside and everybody going about their life now.
Well, and it's probably getting closer to that. Of course, if Texas A&M plays Nebraska again, we could jump all the way back through it. But
we could just use that as leverage or war or
right.
war talk.
Yeah.
He's still a Husker till he die. He's still a black shirt. He's just the AD right now, Bach. We're in a world of business right now.
So he is a Husker. Is he an Aggie or a Husker?
He's a Husker.
He seems to be an Aggie.
Well, Bach, Ed Stewart works for USC.
Yeah.
Ed knows where his roots are. Trev knows where his roots are. He has a job right now, and that job takes over that Husker stuff right at the moment.
Yeah. I always thought it was interesting too. Like, I get the appeal of going back to your alma mater, trying to make it all work. But as an adult, like getting specifically attached to somewhere that you were, kind of going back in time, as opposed to who's going to pay your bills or who, you think has the opportunity to make most success. I always find those conversations kind of interesting. But obviously for Nebraska, it's specifically hurt to have, your own kind of get, stick it to you. Of course, the Scott Frost tenure did not go well. Trev Alberts basically said we're going to bring him back for a 5th year because he's a brother, kind of implying the brotherhood of the Huskers, which when he was a part of, and then he leaves at midnight at some point, right? Not quite literally at midnight, but just kind of overnight. It all kind of happened pretty quickly with Texas A&M. But then, hey, how about this? I mean, I don't know how many people have connected both these things from happening, but the talk from Bill Moose. I mean, Bill Moose was the athletic director before Trev Alberts, and he had stated, that there were multiple powers that deal with at Nebraska.
Too many people got their hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah, and so maybe the AD didn't have as much
too
power
many
as we
chefs
thought.
in the kitchen, Bob.
Yes.
Yeah, too many chiefs want to smoke on the peace pipe, but don't want to lead out. But let's talk about, I want to talk to you about 2009.
Okay.
16 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Who was the highest paid coach in 2009, Bob?
Oh, 2009, I guess Nick Saban.
You want to know how much he was making, Bob?
How much was Nick Saban making?
$6 million.
Yeah.
Mac Brown was number 2, $5.16 million. Bob Stoops was 4.3. Urban Meyer, 4.4 million. Les Miles, 3.9 million. Jim Tressel, 3.8. Kurt Ferris, 3.7. Mark Rich, 2.9. Bobby Petrino, 2.7. Fast forward 16 years later, Bob. 16 years later. Here's where the players get all the ammunition because they love money. You want to know why they love money, Bob? 16 years later from Nick Saban making $6 million a year, Bob. Kirby Smart, 13.2.
More than double, yeah.
Kurt Signetti, 13.2. Lane Kiffin, 13. Ryan Day, 12.5. Lincoln Riley, 11.5. Dabo Swinney, 11.4. Mike Echo, 11. Steve Sarkisian, 10.8. Dan Landon, 10.6. Eric DeWitt, 10.7.
It certainly is a difference. And of course, you maybe
who are we to blame for these players, Bob? You blame the coaches. A lot of people talking about Nick Saban, how he got up there in front of the White House committee, talking about he didn't say he don't think players should get paid. He said he think they should get paid, but at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
So
are coaches reasonably priced?
Coaches would never be reasonable. Never. Because it's all about money to them. They got to look out for their next generation, while they never cared about the generations in the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, or even the 90s, Bob.
Well, and of course it was baked in. I mean, the problem was if you had money and you couldn't spend it on the players, other than a couple McDonald's bags here and there, right? Is that where are you going to spend the money? How are you going to make your program better?
You go back and pay everybody that played at that university, Bob. I think.
You can keep. I mean, I agree with you. You definitely deserve a check or two. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that's going to be hard to come by. But again, the
just
coaches,
give me 100,000. I'm okay.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. 50,000 a year. That's it.
The coaching salaries, though, again, expanded so big because you weren't paying the players. So how did you make your team better? Either, by paying more and getting into an arms race to get better coaches in, or facilities, right? And of course, we saw both those things happen for decades. Now that players can be paid, there's kind of different routes you can go there. But yeah, so I mean, Matt Rule has even talked about it, how it's like, it's definitely inflated. It's more than maybe it should be, but that's where they are. And again, that's kind of the market value. And that's where you're getting into this now with Nebraska. The 18 players that are challenging the CSG ruling and all that. It's like, how do you tell? And the whole problem is going to be, how do you tell somebody what somebody is worth to you if they're going to pay it?
Well, we'll have to see. All right, Bob, Phil the Burn says, Trev left like a punk in the night. No love, no bleed, Husker red, forget the traitor. I still think Trev was not happy here because of the puppet masters.
Yeah.
When you talk about the puppet masters, you talk about the guys up top, Bach, who hold the strings to this university, the guys with all the money. Trev is just the guy who voices his opinion, who voices as the Huskers talk spokesman. But he's not the main puppet master who draws the string, Bach.
Yeah, it didn't appear to be the case, at least again for Bill Moose. Was there transition of power at that time? And I said it all along. You know, it's tough, and he might, and he will. I mean, he'll always go down as one of the greatest Huskers.
But you have to have the point. They took Trev off the Matt Rule situation. They took him off of it because of negotiation. Whoever's the head, the two big shots that hired Matt Rule, they went and did that without Trev.
Yeah, and you know, he was obviously trying to get stadium kind of money and expansion for that, and that didn't seem to be going his way. But again, sometimes it's not just about your love for the school or your love for, you know, your history there or anything. It's the people you work with and the power dynamic that's there. And so I think that's probably what led to Trev Alberts leading. The other part, and we've said this as well, is he's got dreams. He's got big plans. He wants to be more than just probably, you know, if not just to be an athletic director, is to be, you know, kind of the athletic director, or maybe among, you know, the top in the industry. And then we've talked about it too before. Obviously, college football needs a commissioner. You know, all the powers that be, the different jobs as you move up, you know, conference commissioners, you know, that sort of thing down the line, is that you have a little bit more resource to work with at Texas A&M than you do at Nebraska. And so, you know, with that, you know, you just kind of have more of a ceiling of maybe what you can do there overall. That doesn't mean he wouldn't rather have done it here at Nebraska or had the opportunity kind of been just playing out better for him. Maybe he would have stayed. I can't speak for him either. Maybe, you know, maybe all of this is wrong, but just kind of connecting the dots, that appears to probably be what happened with the situation. And now here he is, not looking back and cashing in on his opportunities there at Texas A&M.
You're right, Bach. All right, Bach, let's go to break. And when we come back, we'll talk a little college football. Bock The Blackshirt, 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
Your cure for spring fever is at the Husker Lawn and Leisure Show, March 13th through the 15th at the Sandhills Global Event Center. See unique home and landscape displays. Admission $8. Veterans free on Friday. Hours and info at HuskerLawnShow.com. Sponsored by South O Roofing.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at SauterHeyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and right now at Koppel, we are offering big discounts on all of our inventory. 2026 GMC Terrains are leasing at $279 per month, or buy for $27,690. 2026 Canyons leasing for $269, or buy for $40,980. Also, right now, all new Equinox EVs and all half-ton trucks are starting at $12,000 off MSRP. These are just a few examples of some of the aggressive pricing going on right now at Koppel. Please stop on in or check us out at KoppelCars.com. All these with $2,500 down with a roof credit.
Take your operation to the next level. Right now at Landmark Implement, take advantage of special financing on model year 2019 through 2025 John Deere tractors, sprayers, and combines. Take advantage of a 12-month fixed interest waiver, followed by John Deere Financial standard rates, or choose from multiple split rate offers with approved credit. Stop by your local Landmark Implement or visit us online at landmarkimp.com today and experience the Landmark difference.
Are you looking for something different for lunch or dinner in Lincoln? Big 8 is now open at 1226 P Street, serving seafood boils and Asian cuisine. Get your hands messy with fresh, flavorful seafood boils, hot, cold, and made to share. Or enjoy classic Chinese and Asian dishes. Perfect for lunch, dinner, or a night out with friends and family. Big flavors, generous portions, and a brand new dining experience. Big 8, now open in Lincoln. Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
If you're seeking a career with a growing company, Gaina Trucking and Excavating is hiring and looking for additions to their team. Gaina Trucking has a strong team culture, competitive pay, 401ks, and benefits like health, dental, and vision. Drivers are guaranteed 40 hours per week, even in the winter months, and are home every night. Start your career today at Gaina Trucking and Excavating. Apply today at gainatrucking.com. Hey everyone, this is Austin Orman from Old School with Foreman and Orman, live from 1040 O Street in the heart of downtown Lincoln, weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. My favorite thing about downtown Lincoln has to be the year-round energy. Downtown Lincoln never stops. It's easy to get to, has everything you could need or want in dining, entertainment, and retail, and of course it has Lincoln's best sports talk, proudly located in downtown Lincoln on the corner of 11th and O.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. Spring is here, summer is fast approaching. With weddings, vacations, and weekend getaways on your mind, do not let car issues prevent you from getting where you need to be. Car problems shouldn't be something that you put up with. Let us get you back on the road in comfort and safety. We diagnose all makes and models from Porsches to Hondas, Toyotas, and Chevrolets. We fix a variety of issues with all of them with our talented techs and our experienced staff. A1 Automotive at 11th and L, downtown Lincoln, always honest answers.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Forget the lame excuse this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work for those 2 magical days in mid-March. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 19th and 20th at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday to get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it and stay all day for prizes throughout and buzzer beater upsets. It's March Mayhem with 93.7 The Ticket for the NCAA tournament at Buffalo Wings and Rings on 68th and O.
Hey guys, it's Nick Sainer. Join me and the rest of the 93.7 The Ticket crew as we bring you live coverage of the 2026 NSAA Boys State Basketball Tournament from Pinnacle Bank Arena. The action tips off Wednesday, March 11th. If it's being played at Pinnacle Bank Arena, it's heard on the ticket. Class A to Class D2 all week long. Join us March 11th through March 14th as we crown 6 state champions at the 2026 NSAA Boys State Basketball Tournament right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back Nine Golf in South Lincoln is the premier indoor golf experience in the state. The weather in the winter months is cold, windy, and as unpredictable as a tee shot on the 450-yard par 4. With top-of-the-line full-swing simulators and a PGA TG professional, Back Nine Golf is there to help you improve your game and lower your score. Back Nine Golf is open to the public with 24/7 access for members. Learn about Back Nine's variety of memberships today and see the facility for yourself at 7501 South 15th Street in Lincoln, just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Back Nine Golf, your premier indoor golf and events destination.
It's another big week of hockey at the Icebox. Join the Lincoln Stars as they continue their push for home ice in the Clark Cup playoffs as they host the Des Moines Buccaneers on Thursday night. It's another one of our college nights, so grab your friends and enjoy great drink specials while cheering on the Stars. Puck drop is at 7 o'clock. Then on Saturday at 6 o'clock, it's our pre-St. Patrick's Day celebration. Wear your green and enjoy more drink specials as the Stars take on the Sioux Falls Stampede. Get your tickets now at LincolnStars.com and don't miss a second of the action.
Your cure for spring fever is at the Husker Lawn and Leisure Show, March 13th through the 15th at the Sandhills Global Event Center. See unique home and landscape displays. Admission $8. Veterans free on Friday. Hours and info at HuskerLawnShow.com. Sponsored by South O Roofing.
Nebraska men's basketball is headed to Chicago as the 2 seed for the Big Ten tournament, and we're headed with them. Join me, Jake Sorensen, and DP for coverage from the United Center this weekend as the Huskers look to start the postseason off on the right note. 93.7 The Ticket's coverage from the men's Big Ten tournament is sponsored by Runza, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, the Lincoln Airport, and Penner Sprinkler and Lawn.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Bock in the Blackshirt.
Terrell Farley, defending Terrell Farley, who last week in his first start was a holy terror, number 43.
And Jake Bockovic. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Powered by Bauer.
Welcome to Bock the Blackshirt here on 93.7 The Ticket. We are on Monday through Friday from 1 to 3. We're just doing a little early something for high school basketball as we're going to throw it back to Jay Foreman and Nick Sainert here in a couple of few more minutes. But Bock, any more news you want to talk about?
Well, we certainly can play some Matt Rule audio here as we get into it as well from yesterday. So that was kind of exciting, and with things going on, it's hard to get that in. So we'll do a little bit of that. The news as of today, though, Coach Hurley, Bobby Hurley, of course not Dan Hurley, Bob Hurley let go at Arizona State. I don't think that was necessarily a surprise. But the other news, of course, if you've missed it so far, Miami, Ohio losing to UMass 87-83 in the MAC championship bracket there, the quarterfinals. So looks like a two-bid league there for Miami, Ohio, but probably busted somebody else's bubble there. And then just a quick update too in the Big Ten, what's going on in the Windy City in the early game today. Ohio State is leading 68-62 against Iowa in the 8-9 game. About 2.5 minutes to go there. So that should come to we'll see. We'll keep you updated on how that goes throughout the day. And then of course later today, Nebraska will wait to see their opponent in the Big Ten tournament as Northwestern will play Purdue at around 5:30. The only other game to update is top 25 battle in the Big 12 quarterfinal. Iowa State all over Texas Tech. Iowa State number 7, Texas Tech number 16, but all over them 56-39 due to the big part that Iowa State has outscored the Red Raiders 20-6 in the second half. So again, good fun time in radio, of course, when you can update some major scores across college basketball. And, of course, we got plenty of high school basketball coming up.
Yes, we do, Bob. 70-65. Oh, under 2 minutes. That's a good one, Bob. What time Nebraska play tomorrow, Bob?
5:30 or roundabouts, yeah.
All right, let's get a little Matt Rule in our system today, Bob.
All right, yes, Matt Rule spoke to the media yesterday. Would be for the final time. Of course, they'll go to spring break as UNL is at spring break next week. So no practice next week. So this is the final time to get to hear from Coach Rule, and he had a lot to say. So let's go ahead and start it off. A lot of talk, of course, that has been about the quarterbacks. So we can start there again. Quarterback room depth and Calandria. Here's Coach Rule talking about those guys.
Yeah, I think Anthony burning. He's got like a burning desire to be great. He's unbelievably confident, yet unbelievably approachable and not cocky. I think that rubs off on the guys around him. He can extend plays. I think he make plays with his feet. He'll throw the deep ball. He's not afraid by any stretch of the imagination. He wants the ball in his hands. He wants to make plays. So he plays really fast. I think part of that is, having him make the right decisions at the right times while not slowing him down. But I think he's had a really good spring so far. TJ, as a young player, as a freshman, It's his second spring. You look at him, he looks like a grown man, but he's still really young. Obviously, he had the benefit of playing. He had some really good moments when he played. And, you can tell him after having played and now watching Anthony play, you can see him speeding up and getting through everything that he's doing. And then Danny's a guy that really smart. His brain processes really quickly. He can see it and just keep getting reps. And then Bodie's done a nice job getting reps too. So I think it's a really healthy quarterback room. And, like I said, to have three guys out there that have played as much as they've played is it's pretty unique, and it's a cool thing to see.
So you hear it from Matt Rule there. Again, the separation still seems to be kind of the quickness, which with Calandria, it can process things, which is understandable given his point of the career.
Matt Rule throwing a little shot earlier in the comments.
Yeah.
When he said he's approachable, he's not cocky.
Mm.
You know where that comes? You know who he's talking about, Bach? I mean, I know, but here's the thing, Bach. I don't know if Anthony Calandra is that fast or that good with his footwork comparing to going against our defense every day. Did you watch the combine?
A little bit of it, yeah.
Did you watch the linebackers?
Pretty quick guys out there.
Did you watch the defensive ends, Bach?
Yeah.
Those guys are super fast. And those are also guys that we're going to play next year, and they got more guys like that, Bach. So when I say this, I said I want to see it during the game, not just against our defense, our linebackers, our defensive line, our DBs. I want to see it against the Ohio States. I want to see it against the Indianas. If this kid is that good, I'll give us a couple of more games during the season, Bach, and I'll say 9-3.
Wow, yeah.
Not right now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if I think he's that good after I watch him the first couple of games, I cannot tell against the non-conference opponents. I will not be able to tell. You would probably be able to tell how good this kid is when Indiana comes to town.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Of course, would love to see, and maybe someday we will see, at the end of the spring going up against another team. But as for right now, it'll just be Nebraska. We'll see how much better they can make themselves. But of course, if they're able to play that well and get to 9-3, he could be in a Heisman Trophy race.
But I would never.
You said it. I'm writing it down.
I would never give anybody on a 9-3 team a Heisman Trophy.
Well, a Johnny Manziel type of performance, or Lamar Jackson.
You're talking about guys who's unbelievable talent, Bob.
Right.
I'm not saying that Calandra is not, but he's not Lamar Jackson. He's not Johnny Manziel.
The comparison, and of course the tape that they've been looking at Diego Pavia, who's who they had a 3-loss team.
Look at the teams he played against over there in the whatever they was in. His tape looks great, Bob. Do the athletes look great that he's playing against? They're not like us. They're not like D1.
Playing in the SEC?
No, Calandria.
Oh, Calandria. Okay,
yeah.
No, they're Mountain West.
Yeah. So you tell me the talent in the Mountain West is like the talent in the Big Ten. His tapes look good because there's no talent in the Mountain West like that.
Yeah, we'll see. It definitely will be an adjustment. Again, if he can do that, and that's the hope, right, is that he is kind of the difference maker. Could be in
Eric,
for a
do not
big year.
quote me. I didn't say 9-3. I said if this kid is like they say he is, I'll change my mind till 9-3 when the season gets ready to start. But as of right now, still a 7-6 team till you prove that record wrong.
Yeah. So we'll see. Let's get to the growth of Elijah Pritchett. He could go a long way for Nebraska making a jump next year.
I think probably his biggest growth was probably 12 months ago. Sometimes as a coach you have to do hard things. We didn't always play him until the standards were right. I'm very proud of Elijah. I think he'll be a top draft pick next year. I think he was very mature in making the decision to come back. When you go through those moments, right, and you're not getting what you want, you can pout or you can grow. I think he's grown. He's a tremendous talent, and he's combining that with technique, grit, every single day, showing up, doing the right things. And I think adding some of those guys to the room, have also helped grow that for him. Justin Evans is clearly the leader in that room. There's no doubt about that. And I think Pritch is kind of like right there along with him.
My guy.
That's right.
Columbus, Georgia strikes again. I wouldn't say Elijah Pritchett was that bad last year. I think it has to be Donnie, man, when we talk about what happened last year to Elijah Pritchett. The kid is really good. He needs coached up real well. When you allow family to walk on the football field and disrupt practice, then we all know what Donovan was always on the football field with his brother. But at the same time, these young men deserve a coach who's going to coach them the right way. And I think that starts with Jeep Wade. I watched some video of him yesterday talking to the kids, and he's a real interactive coach. I don't think Dunny is that interactive. He was always kind of sort of mad all the time with just with a pissed off face all the time. So, I think when you get a better coach in there and it makes the kids real coachable and it makes the environment real easy for the kids instead of being in a hostile environment like Dunny probably had it in because he always looked mean, probably was yelling. But at the same time, I think now we got a coach in there and you got a good group of guys that need to be coached up real quick. And I think Jeep Wade is probably the guy to do it.
Yeah, we'll see. Obviously, with with him last year, you had the early season. As an offensive lineman, we notice your mistakes a lot more than we notice your successes, and he had a few of them early in the season. By the season's end, he was among Nebraska's best players. So hopefully, you can keep building from there. Like you said, a change in coaches can maybe help him along the way. As for that offensive line, a lot of people are intrigued by that. Here's what Rule said about the reps and in the scrimmage this week.
They've done a nice job in my mind of, I've asked them of not just deciding the depth in the first 2 weeks, but giving a lot of guys a lot of opportunities to play versus the first O-line versus the second O-line. And we've got a lot of reps so we can see who can do what. And, we had our first scrimmage Saturday. So when you have that first scrimmage, it's a chance for guys to come out of the scrimmage and show like, okay, I see what I did well, what I didn't do well, like last night. And then tomorrow night are really important days for me to see how guys adjust and come out of that first scrimmage. Hey, what did I learn and what can I do better?
So they heard there as injuries piled up last year, started to hurt Nebraska's offensive line. Want to make sure you develop that depth as well. So that makes a lot of sense. Speaking of that scrimmage here, where it's Rule talking about how the offense a little bit ahead of the defense.
I think the offense was probably maybe a little bit ahead of the defense out there, but it wasn't, astronomical. I thought the defense was probably a little ahead of the offense last night. So I think there is good give and take. I think they're going back and forth. But I thought it was really good work. I think we had, I don't know what the total number was, maybe 180, 190 reps. There was a lot of reps. We only had 12 and a half O-linemen on Saturday because Paul Mubenga could only take half reps. Tyler Canuck's girlfriend had senior night. She's a gymnast at Utah, and so we wanted him to go back there with her. Some of the guys are banged up, so we were able to get that many reps with 12 and a half O-linemen was really credit to a lot of guys taking a lot of reps.
All right, Bob.
Yeah, there you have it again. The importance of getting those the backup offensive linemen ready to go as important as those starters. And of course, there'll be a battle for the starting position. We all like to think, that you go out there, spend that money. That money's going to come in here and start right away. Some of those guys might be battling. Might be a similar story to Pritchett, where it takes maybe a half a year to kind of get going.
Well, these guys are going to start, Bob. Those guys they went and got in the portal. Most of those guys are going to start. I can tell you what, those guys on the offensive line, they're going to start.
Hopefully.
I don't think most of the guys on the defensive line will probably start. Probably two out of 4 linemen. 2 of them will be new. You're probably going to have 2 new linebackers. You're probably going to have probably 4 or 5, probably 3 guys in the back end. So you're looking at probably 7 new starters on defense.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who can come in. Of course, there's been talk, especially, I want to get your thoughts on this. I know you're big Vincent Shavers guys, specifically about the linebackers and the new linebackers coming in with Shameless and Dexter Foster looking to be the part, might be the starters there at linebacker.
Yeah, I've been hearing about Dexter and the Chambliss and two big guys, two Carlos Polk size guys, probably good for the middle because you're running a 4-2-5. So those guys are basically two inside linebackers. You're rarely not going to have a outside linebacker on a two linebacker set. The thing with Vincent Shavers is they keep asking him to get the weight, gain the weight. A kid that's probably my height, Bob, can't gain weight like that. Vincent Shavers should be at around 215, 210. He should be that blitzing linebacker for us. He should be that blitz specialist. They say he's up to 235, 240. Body frame's not big enough for that size, Bob. Probably need to shed off about another 10, 15 pounds and work on his speed and try to be a great blitzer here, great third down specialist. Got to get his feet wet somewhere. But, I just feel for the kid because last year he had to play with a big club on his hand. The year before that, he was that freshman year that I think last year was like the sophomore slump. We'll give it that part. But this is his junior year. You would think he'll be an ultimate starter, but with the way the transfer portal goes, Bach, it's hard to assess that right now.
Yeah, and you know what? One way or the other, I know people might like Vincent Shavers. I do too. But didn't take the big jump a lot of people wanted to. And so instead of kind of waiting around and hoping that happens, I mean, you could do the same thing, kind of say the same with Cam Linhart after his freshman year. Say, all right, well, have Cam Linhart. Don't worry about it. And then if the guys aren't making the strides that you need them to, you got to bring in competition. And like you said, maybe, body shaping, all that sort of stuff. Certainly playing with a club hand can limit what you do as a linebacker. So, I think there are better days ahead for Vincent Shavers Jr. And certainly he still have the opportunity to go out there and win that job. But there's going to be some competition there and some rotation there as well. Merritt Dawson, the Will Hawthorns, the Christian Jones, they're going to be fighting to get some playing time.
I don't think they rotate like they used to do, Bob. You probably rotate on the defensive line, man, but you got to let the linebackers play, Bob. You got to. You can't let these guys get 30 snaps a game, Bob. That's warm up right there, Bob. I mean, I understand you want to keep them fresh, but as a former linebacker, Bob, I want to play.
Yeah.
Don't take me out. Let me take myself out when I'm tired.
Yeah. We'll see if that approach changes at all here in the third defensive coordinator for Matt Rule. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit more. A lot of talk yesterday about the defensive backfield specifically. How about a true freshman coming in, and Danny Odom? How's he looked so far?
Yeah, Danny's really talented. Danny's a big player for a freshman. I think he's 198 pounds as a corner as a freshman. He's competing to play. We didn't bring him here to sit. And he's humble. He when I say humble, he works really hard. He's up there all the time. He's a gym rat. He's watching extra tape. He's trying to meet with Addie to make sure he knows what to do. And then he goes out there, he likes to compete. And so he's facing good wideouts every day in practice. And he's certainly a guy that's, in the mix. That there's a lot of great competition for that spot, probably opposite Marshall.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I mean, at first I didn't know who Ralph Brown was. I was like, well, we got two freshmen back here till those guys put those pants on. And it was a different story. I don't care if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, 10-year senior. If you can play ball, get on the field. And I learned that with Ralph Brown and Mike Brown playing with those two guys who was great freshmen, man. I mean, some of the best true freshmen I've seen come through this school right here, Bob, when I talk about the Brown brothers. That's what we used to call them. And hopefully Danny Odom can fill in those shoes and get that cornerback spot back to jumping like Nebraska had, like guys like Prince, guys like Fonzo Denard, guys like Tyrone Williams, Baron Miles, Mike Bookers. We need great guys at corner because when you got great corners and big corners, you don't have to worry about doubling receivers. You can go man-to-man, and it helps the defense out a lot better. He's going to make some mistakes because he's still a young guy, still wet behind the ears, but at the same time, if you give him so much encouragement every day, it makes him a better player every week.
Yeah, it's interesting to see how it'll break down. He'll be in there for competition, I'm sure. Likely not going to redshirt. We'll put it that way. So we'll see what kind of the story, what it brings ahead. Season brings ahead for Danny Odom. Certainly one of the most exciting players as far as a freshman to come to Nebraska in quite some time. But it is interesting as they try to fill out all these positions in the back. I mean, you've got the Rex Guthries, the Donovan Jones, the Justin Retz, and Victor Evans, Jameer Collins, of course, Andrew Marshall, like you said, McDougal, Jason Shiggs coming in. Yeah, so there's a lot of names back there. It's a lot of guys moving around. One of those guys moving around is Donovan Jones, and here's what Matt Rule had to say about Donovan Jones at his different positions.
Coach Norris isn't used to this media market yet. He keeps saying a lot. I know. Yeah, but Donnie's just a great player, right? So it's just like, the hard thing sometimes when you have a guy like Donnie who can do so much is you want to let them just settle in. And, but playing nickel, playing safety is really the same thing in this defense. So wanted to be able to use his man-to-man ability. He's used at corner and also his physicality to stop the run. And so I think he's a guy that we believe is a starter caliber player for us, and just finding the right spot to allow him to flourish. What you don't want to do to me is take a player who can be a difference maker and put them in a position where they're less difference making to get the best 11 on the field. Some people believe in that. I want our best players to be in blue dot positions where they can affect the game and then work around it. So I think we're just trying to make sure Donnie's in a position where he can affect the game.
Well, I think that goes to the defensive coordinator when you talk about having him in the right place at the right time. You got to have packages for him. We had packages for guys that came in like me, Bock, third down specialist, second down specialist. I didn't start to probably sixth game of the season in 95. So I was a package guy. I came in for blitz downs. I came in for passing downs. Jamel also, but as this guy, he can come in. He can lock down probably a third receiver, fourth receiver. When you play teams like Ohio State, you're going to need 4 or 5 corners out there at the same time. They got Chris Henry Jr. out there now, and he's 6'5", 200-something pounds. So to go along with Jeremiah Smith. So, Bock, it's football, Bock. You got to figure a way out to get these guys on the field. I mean, when you have a DB room thick and deep like that, Bock, is sometimes guys are not going to be able to play like they want to play, because you have so many guys in that. And like I say, that rotation hurts people because you get warmed up, and next thing you know, you out of the game. You go back out, that guy's already warmed up. You trying to warm back up, Bock. It's like a track meet, Bock. This guy's already got a head start on me, and that's because he's been playing already, and I'm just getting in the game. You gotta, Bock. It's a thing called warming up when you get in the game. I mean, you like the first play of the game. Everybody want to make the first tackle. Sometimes it don't go that way, Bob. Might run to the other side. Might not be your side they run into. So you might be just running to the ball.
You want to be the tone setter, but sometimes, play doesn't come to you. So.
That's it for today, Bock?
That's it for today.
All right. Thank you for listening to Bock and the Black Shirt. We are powered
by
Bauer.
Infrastructure.
Bauer.
Underground.
Barrett.
Excavating.
All right. There's more high school basketball coming up with Nick and Jake or Austin, who's ever. There's going to be one of them there calling the game. Stay tuned for 93.7 The Ticket for the rest of Nebraska State high school basketball men's tournament.